So there are dead deeds, and there's a weak conscience. So you have to know the difference. Both conditions exist. You cannot say that dead deeds don't exist. A person who has a dead conscience, everything that he does is dead. Even the good things, even the wonderful things, even the amazing things, they mean nothing to God. They are dead to Him. You are dead to Him. Do you realize that? If your conscience is dead, everything you do is also dead. Your works are the fruit of a dead man, Adam. They mean nothing to God. You have to crucify Adam. He's been crucified for God. He doesn't exist. So the moping around and all this trying hard stuff that you do and trying is useless. It's a waste of time. Those are dead works. How do you know if a person has dead works among us? It's a question that we have to see amongst us. I'll tell you, it's a very simple thing. If the person carries all the past with him and has the conscience of sin, or in other words, the remembrance and the weight that everything that he's done even in his old life before he heard the truth, to him it's all the same and it troubles him. And so even today if he hears something said towards him and he connects it immediately to the old man, like in his previous life, it compounds in him and it makes it awful. And he cannot bear it. It's one more thing. And he feels like, okay, if it's one more thing, I'm just going to die. I just want to dig myself into a hole and that's it. I can't bear it anymore. Enough. That's his condition. If you see a person among us living that way, I tell you what, his conscience is dead and his deeds that he does are absolutely dead. Don't call him weak. Call him dead. A weak conscience is a youngster in Christ. He doesn't have that past. You can say, so the works themselves could be similar, you see? You wouldn't be able to tell them apart, but the condition of his heart are different. One man carries it all the way back to and the other one doesn't. He's like, oh yeah, okay, this is just, I got to figure this out now. He's light, right? And so he doesn't have that history. There's a broken chain on the cross. It broke. There's a huge gap for him. It doesn't even click. It doesn't even connect. He doesn't even say, if you tell him, oh, do you remember you did that when you were old? He's like, oh yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't click in him, right? It doesn't connect. That tie is broken. That chain is broken of events. Chain of events absolutely started when you were born again. And so the weak conscience is a person who is weak. Yes, he understands. He may have an old understanding of something. And Paul gives an example of eating something that is for the idols. So this is like today. And I gave this example yesterday. So if you know that somebody did something in honor of a dead man, and he cooked a meal and says, this is in honor of a dead man. We know that that's idolatry. We know that that's heathenism. We know that, right? And let's say one of us has grown and says, oh, that doesn't mean anything. I'm talking to this man and I want to really make sure that, I'm working on him so that I want to bring him to Christ. I'll eat it with it doesn't have a meaning to me. When I eat that food, it's nothing to me, absolutely. But another man who is youngster, he sees that and he says, did you see what he did? I want to be like that too. But to me, it's like, but can you? It's kind of weird, isn't it? Eating the crap. But I want to be like you. I want to be a grown man too. I'm going to try the same thing. And he goes and he starts judging himself. So he forces himself to put on the conscience of someone else. But in him, it's kind of confusing. It's not his yet. And he eats, and then after that, he starts being sick and worried. And he says, I just ate something. And he starts asking questions. And this is among us. It's going to happen, right? It does happen. Oh, I did this. Oh, I don't know. Did I just reject Christ? Right? Because I did something. And you become wavering about your own salvation, and you can die. Because you acted by the law. You saw that your brother is doing this, I have to do the same thing. And it quickly, his freedom turns into the law for you. And if you start acting by the law, you will die. You surely will die. That's a weak conscience. It's a babe in Christ who needs to be simply fed and pampered and taken care of. Very different conditions. Yet, both exist. And that's what's happening right now. We keep on saying, some people keep saying, well, this doesn't exist or that doesn't exist. We got to look at each other. And so if you tell them, okay, here's what you got to figure out. And in them, it connected all the way back, I don't know when, to when they were old. What does that say? When they were old, an old man. What does that say? That means the chain didn't break in them. The good pieces left. The bad's, yeah, the bad's on the cross. But the good stuff, yeah, it matters, right? Why do you need to reject everything? Let's leave the good stuff behind. And it becomes a problem. And that is a dead conscience. And those are dead works. And this happens among us. There is a solution to this. Christ has to clean you from the dead conscience through the cross, through his blood. Yes, it happens once. But if it didn't happen, then say it. It didn't happen. We have to be clear. We have to be open. Our eyes need to be open. And that's a very serious condition. And that is the most serious thing we've got to watch out for, so that we don't lump dead works into a weak conscience. Isn't that tragic? Because if you leave dead works, if you leave them, they will bring an absolute degradation of the entire church. If you call dead works like, oh yeah, that's just a weak conscience, that's serious, folks. You're basically acknowledging an old man and saying, yeah, sure, come on over. Be a member of this body. The whole body will begin to decay. That's impossible. Christ won't allow for that.